then they come in with the, oh, he want that loose. Like, what does that mean?
He want that loosey Lou.
The intro music just has to be like, but I get loose.
Let's get loose with it.
They're gonna be so confused.
You got E40 in there? Let's get loose.
Welcome to another episode of the It's Just Shows podcast. My name is Joshua Chapman, aka Slim Ballard, aka Baby Honest, aka Mr. Take Your Girl in Front of Your Face. We're still working on that. But as always, I'm here with my co-hosts and good buddies in real life. First, Jesse Pink.
What's up, yo?
Aka Dolomite Pete, aka Groovy, aka Baby Samoa Joe, aka Groovy Grizzly. Why? Because he keeps it raw on you hoes, like the lemon that's in his tea. And Derek Small.
Yeah.
What's up, good buddy? AKA D Smalls, AKA Anthony Mackie Jr., AKA Damn, Derek, where'd you find this pod? Shout out to Dre for the intro music, Peyton for being Peyton, and D Will for everything else behind the scenes. We appreciate you, sir. Before I forget, Jesse, how many stars do we need the people to give us?
That's simple. It's 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, and I think 5 stars.
5 stars, because 3 is not enough. But yeah.
But if they don't give us 5 stars, what are they?
Fucking haters.
Exactly.
Because, like, why would you? Honestly, I would rather you give us a 3 than a 4, to be completely honest. Like, because a 3 means, okay, we got some work to do. 4 means, oh, y'all are good, but y'all are not. Like, that's just hating. You just a hating ass nigga.
That's the equivalent to being like, I'd rather you not do it than half-ass it. Because it's like,
yeah,
you did it, and then you was like, no. It's like, no.
Like, honestly, what's the difference between a 4-star and a 5-star, to be complete? There's a difference between a 3 and a 5. Completely. A 4 and a 5? You fucking hater. You hater. But yeah, anyways, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just been chilling. Glad that the fall is starting to wind down a little bit. I'm sort of in chill mode now, but still, just on the grind like usual. When
you say the fall, like you mean for work, right?
Yeah, I meant work-wise. Okay.
I know, because when you said I've been in chill mode, I said, nigga, you finna be cold. Fall leaving, baby. Winter coming.
It is going to be cozy season here pretty soon, definitely. But yeah, work-wise, like I'm just kind of on like the wind down of the busy part and stuff. So just chilling.
Yeah, you've been basically running and gunning since you got the gig, right?
The amount of times I've been up and down 294, 355, I-80, I-57.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
These highways and me are like this.
Y'all together, man.
Yeah.
Out of all those, the most curviest highway to me is I-80, bro. I-80
is not a terrible highway. The worst highway out of the ones I just named is 294.
Oh, definitely.
By far.
Definitely. I just like turns to like.
I hate getting on that highway.
The one that goes like, that feels like, okay, I got to turn. I got to turn again. To me, that's I-80. I'd be like, why I got so many turns, bro? I didn't turn 3 times. What's going on?
What is to it? Yeah. Also, apparently, I didn't get the memo to wear sock stuff. It's all good, though, because as you can see, I'm in my Adidas. I got this in Ireland. But yeah, as you can see, thanks to our YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. But yeah, Jesse, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still, in the thick of things like for the semester. There's a couple of projects I'm still tweaking on. There's a couple of manuscripts I'm editing now, and I have to expand on more. So, and I got word that I need to start writing my dissertation because I have now I have about a year and a half left based on my progress. So I didn't cut down a lot. Yeah, I didn't cut down a lot of my progress. So
hey, shout out to you, Jesse. Hey, that deserves a ear clap. That deserves a clap.
How did this nigga like accelerate a PhD program?
That's like, the Jesse way. That's the Jesse
way.
So on paper.
Also, hold on. Also, I really enjoy that Jesse describes his like PhD work like a drug dealer would describe his work to his shorty. Like, oh yeah, you know, I got a couple projects. I got a, you know, a manuscript. Don't even worry. How are you doing? How are you? Like, what? I still don't know what this thing is doing. Like,
so on paper, I have a year and a half left, but on paper, I have a year and a half left, but I also know that the counselors and the coordinators, of which I'm not going to disclose their names, they're basically doing they basically will push me to have to get out in a year and a half so they can keep that money that they guaranteed me to send to someone else. And it's like, you guarantee me a 5-year max. So it's a year and a half, but I might take the other couple of years to fly on their dime so I can start using that for more internship experience. So it's like, I might get not paid. I could probably come out the gate and get paid fast. That's what they would tell me. But it's like, yeah, but I can also fly on your dime and have more experience. I don't know, you know? So I have to work that out with them. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But when that happens, that's when, and some could probably attest to this. It's like you get out the honeymoon phase after your first year, after the second year, it's okay. When you start getting to like that third and fourth and maybe that fifth year, or depending on how long your program is, because some like are like 8 years or so, or depending on how long you're in, like your part-time, full-time. After like almost halfway or so, that's when faces get contorted. That's when things get a little bit different.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Also, y'all can't see it right now, but Straight Back Jesse is back, which I really approve of. That's my favorite Jesse. My more favorite Jesse is going to be when he has the straight backs, but they come into like a ponytail like here, and he has the undercut like shaving now.
I'm calling that the Kobe.
Jesse.
I'm calling that Kobe had that before me, and Kobe killed that.
Kobe looked like he was like coming back home just to set up some new connects. But
for real, Miami Cuban Kobe.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think it's funnier if his girl is the drug dealer and Kobe's just like the face, like the front man of the operation.
I'm glad you said face and not meal, because I would have been like, oh my goodness. It's a lot of boofing going on. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
How you been, big man?
Man, I've been good. I've been applying to some new gigs and stuff like that, just because I want something that's going to allow me to scratch more of a creative itch on like a regular basis. And it's not that like it's not that I don't like my job now. Like I'm good at it. My supervisor's cool and all that kind of stuff. I get to work from home, but like I want something that's going to like, especially just because I would like to be on my dilemma is I would like to be on a new show or something in February, March, when that sort of thing picks up in Chicago. But because that is not guaranteed, I don't want to just do a whole bunch of like part-time until that. And if I can find something that is more stable until then, or even past then cool. Like, you know, so it's always just one of those things. It's like, all right, like, what am I doing with my time now with myself, and how am I really, you know, allowing myself to be as, you know, like creative and all that kind of stuff as I really want to be. So, but yeah.
You got it, man. Look, I told you yesterday, bro. You got it. Look, these people got to hire you, man. If you need me to write a strongly worded letter, I got you. You need me to call somebody, I got you. We gonna make this happen, brother. We gonna make this happen.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to. Yeah, I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. But so for this week's episode, by the time you guys hear this, watch this, whatever, you're already going to be aware of the whole, ordeal that happened at Astroworld. We don't really need to really go a whole bunch over that. And we want to send our condolences to the people that not only passed away, but are also just injured and all that kind of stuff. Like bottom line is there's a whole lot of stuff that happened that shouldn't happen. And a lot of people are to blame for the recklessness that did happen. But, we've all been to something on a larger scale in terms of Lollapalooza. Jesse and I went, what year was that? Was that 2014? Was it 13, 14?
When it's probably 2013.
I think it was 13. I think that was heading into our junior year.
Yeah, that's heading into our junior year because he dropped the album that year.
Yeah. M dropped the album. And then all of us went together. Was that 2019?
Yes, that was.
Summer 2019, yeah.
That was the bro era. That was the bro era. From Mizzou.
Yeah, that was a fun couple months. But yeah, so we've all been to that sort of thing and just kind of talking about like how, I guess, I don't want to say concert culture because that sounds too close to cancel culture, but like how that shit could be like dangerous and like how that shit could be like, and overwhelming at times, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the whole, environment of concerts and things like that, I don't know if this is just a thing that happens when you grow in age, but I'm really starting to prefer the concerts where you can go to one at like the United Center, or like a specific organized venue, versus festivals, only because people act a fool when they go to festivals for some reason. I don't know what happens between them buying the ticket and them, coming to the event, but people just, they start acting way more weirder than they usually would. People become thirsty and they want to get to like the very front of the stage just to like scream at the artist that's probably not even going to look at them anyway, being honest, right? Like the artists don't know you personally, they don't really see you as they're performing. So it's just a lot of weird stuff that happens there. And also the whole, like, if you're there for the entire day, you're on your feet for like, 6+ hours, things like that. I don't know, unless it's just like a really, really good lineup. Like we talked about in like a previous episode, Day in Vegas.
In our super secret episode that you guys haven't heard yet. Sorry.
But yeah, like with that, it's just, I don't know. I'm really starting to prefer like the more organized, like
the seated venue.
Yeah, more than like a music festival, just because it's a lot to a music festival, and it just feels more by the end of it exhausting than if you went to like a regular concert, to me.
Yeah, and a lot of like large music festivals that are gauged towards a younger demographic are not in particular the best at suiting those who are disabled or those who have either like physical, mental, behavior, etc. like incapabilities. I think that's a better word to say. I really don't like the words disabilities and impairments as much. Because that type of language in itself is very ableist to me, but incapabilities maybe. But yeah, like a lot of concerts aren't necessarily like that. They just give you, a wide area. Some are like a wide area, the different stages, the different venues that you can go get like your overpriced drinks, overpriced water, because everybody's going to be dehydrated. And if you weren't lucky enough to smuggle in your own water, you have to go pay like $6 for like a small bottle of water, of tap water at that. It's just not. And like I noted earlier, it's particularly for like younger demographics because those are the ones that are responsible for a lot of mosh pits, where you hit like a plethora of alcohol coming in with a lot of drugs, needles, all that. And so like large festivals can be like very dangerous in like how they're regulated. This is an old historical example of it, but like nevertheless, it showed people an example of how, large festivals, if they're not regulated right, they can cause a lot of health concerns and health violations and health risks like Woodstock. Like it seriously was. Like a lot of people romanticize it because it was like, oh, everyone was free doing drugs. And it was during the era of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But a lot of people don't talk about how people were, when you look far in the back, people were in stretchers, there was needles, people having sex everywhere. It was just a lot of public indecency that happened. And I'm preferring now as I get older, like a little bit more organized concerts. Like all of us, man, I'm thinking about it, like we've had a good bros era. Like if it wasn't for COVID, like we would, if COVID didn't, like COVID kind of put a dent in our bros era, but like I would say from 2017 to like 2019, we was on a good roll because remember we all went to the championship tour on the TD championship tour, and that was a little bit organized. You know, it was a little bit organized, but to Derek's point in this part, and I find this a little bit interesting too for the TDE part too. It was organized, but it was also like kind of controlled crowd and small capacity. So I wouldn't be surprised that in the next couple of years, I'm at Essence Fest with 30 and up. Because like it's gonna be organized.
They ain't gonna have no time for none of that pushing to the front shit. Like,
those are grown folks at that.
Those are grown. Me and my old lady finna set a picnic in the back. Finna listen to Erykah Badu, rub her feet, and get high, bro. Enjoy this day.
Hey, Jesse gonna be getting his hair braided, got some peppermint oil and motherfucking
oil, everything.
While Jill Scott on stage and shit. Like
I'd be like, I'm enjoying this, my queen.
If I'm not mistaken, going back to like your Woodstock reference, I actually think there's like a documentary out about it on HBO Max.
There are a plethora, yes. And it serves a lot of political, social, and economic like protesters. Don't get me wrong. But man, when you look back at it, you're like, they were so high.
Yeah. I think also we're talking about these big festivals and stuff. They serve raver culture, right? They want to get as many people in there as possible. And, you know, the artists again, Travis did terrible. Like he clearly did not care about anybody's safety because people were trying to tell him like, yo, stop. And he went on for a half hour. But like when you're on stage, there's like, you can say, hey, just cut the music and just stop and like have that down, but you can only control the crowd so much. You know what I mean? Now you can egg on the crowd. You can make it worse. Well, you can only control the crowd so much. Whereas like put it to you like this. If we were to go see like Larry June, I like Larry June a lot. Larry June is not selling out like the UC yet, and that's fine. But him in a concert hall, like everybody there is already a Larry June fan. And they're going to be sitting there just, you know, vibing to the music, all that kind of stuff. Like it'll be, I think for us, that would be more fun than to be at this big Lala thing or whatever. And there's all these people pushing up on us and doing that sort of thing. Where it's just like, you're clearly there to like, you're drunk or you're in raver culture and you just want to, you know, do whatever. And it's just like, that doesn't really suit me right now, you know, like.
Yeah. And to put this up to contrast Larry June and Travis Scott, you know, it also is like depends on the type of music they make. Like Larry June music is completely different from Travis Scott music. Like there's going to be mosh pits at Travis Scott concerts. I'll be surprised if there were mosh pits at Larry June concerts. It's like how y'all getting teed off of iced coffee? Like how y'all doing this?
You over there, T, like Larry June's favorite word is numbers. Like,
right.
Like...
The only way how I can see people getting lit is like Trap Larry. Trap Larry go hard. But like in reverse, it's like I don't expect a Travis Scott concert unless everybody's like high out their mind, you know, and just chilling to Maria, I'm drunk. Like, you know, there's that.
Justin Bieber sang his verse on there like the rent was due yesterday.
Exactly.
Like he was on, like, I'm gonna give credit to, because he came in like Travis had a good verse. Thug had a really good verse. None of it mattered because Justin was singing like the rent was due, like he was about to get evicted. Like,
right. But Travis, like to that point, like it was a lot of, you know, that, and then also not only think about the music of the artist, you also have to think about the artist's personality in a sense. Because Larry June cuts from that cloth of like B.O.N, UGK, the rest of them, right? And I remember like where it was a time where, you know, B.O.N has a way of controlling the crowd in a sense where sometimes he'll do in this method where if there was like a small fight that breaks out, like within the crowd, he might not necessarily break it up because then if he does that, then the crowd averts its attention to it. And then one fight turns into three and everyone's fighting. If it just seems like, but he'll do that if it seems more control and it's just two dumb people or two inebriated people or whatever you're fighting. And then if eventually it diffuses and they, you know, keep keep enjoying the music. That's one small example. But when you have a more extreme case of where like people are injured, seriously injured, people are dying, it's like, you know, you got to snap out of that, or someone in your stage crew has to be like, yo, step out of it. Or even within that case, you didn't even release a press statement or nothing about it. You know, you got to take some type of full responsibility on it. So, you know.
Yeah. So going to that exact point, there are two examples that, like, in my opinion, right, show that he saw it, but for lack of better words, didn't care. So there's the video where like somebody was being lifted up and they were clearly like lifeless, whether they were passed out or dead. And then he just kept like, I think he was singing some song where he had to like hum part of it or like do something like that. And he just, like Josh, you know, said, continued on, you know, despite what was going on. And then there's another video that surfaced, I believe more recently than like the initial night of the festival. But like two people from the festival like walked up to him on stage and were like, hey, dude, like, you know, we don't know what's going on, but we think you may need to like stop for a second, yada, yada. And he shooed them away. Essentially, he was like, nah, bro, like, what y'all doing? And he said, let's get it, like, or whatever, and kept performing. So like he released his own video via like IG stories or whatever. But like, to me, none of those words even warrant like a good apology, because you continue to perform knowing that like things were going on around you. And I'm sure you saw the medical vehicles in the crowd, you know, that were trying to like, you know, take people to safety. So it's like, I don't know. He could apologize all day and he could say that he's working with like Houston PD and like the Houston Fire Department, but I don't really know how truthful that is, being that there's like video evidence of you continuing the show despite what was going on.
Yeah, and just this last thing, at least for me, it's like, okay, it's, and like I get it, like most artists, they make a lot of their income a lot through tours, like contrary to what people think, like especially like if you're not like signed, especially if you're not independent, like you make a lot of your money like through festivals and like through concerts, through your bookings. And I get it, like, you know, people like you want to come out. People come out, pay their money, and you want to like give them a show. You also, you know, I understand like that's your culture, like, you know, the culture of your music for people to get lit, get drunk, all that stuff. But even for you, like there's a certain time you got to take responsibility of your actions. Even more radical apology. And this is me because we live in a capitalist society, right? A radical apology would have been like, I'm just going to give everybody their money back. That was just a horrible scenario. That would have been radical, you know, but you're not going to do that because it's just going to be like, I just gave y'all a free show and that hurts, right?
Wasn't it a free show?
No, I don't think, no.
No, I think I thought
I saw someone on Twitter be like, this, like people were pushing to the front and like going through VIP even for a free show. Like, I maybe not the VIP portion was, but I could be wrong.
Is it a free show?
I thought it was I thought it was a festival like like another one where people had to like pay admission.
Right, because
I don't know. Like, it might have been I'm not sure. I have to go look that up.
Right.
It might have been that the ticket like the GA ticket might have been free, but everything else costs or whatever. But like
probably, yeah. But because like when you say VIP, I'm like, dog, you paying for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Paying for that. But even, you know, free. If it was pay, if it was like, you know, you have to pay, a radical thing is like, you know, give your money, give everybody the money. And then it's just like, well, like, we can't do that. That's free admission. But if PR Jesse was on there, I've been like, hey, you give everybody their money and you give everybody their money, or you use some of that money to donate to some of the people that were seriously injured or pay for some of the expenses of these deaths. You know, you get a press statement, you say your thank yous and all that. You work with the department. And then the next concert, recharge them double. That's PR Jesse. PR Jesse would have did that.
But at least say something to the effect of like, you know, I'm horrified by what happened. And as an artist, it is on me to make sure that these things do not happen. Because the first thing he has to do for the next concert is being like, yo, I want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to get lit and turn up. That being said, I want everybody to look out for each other and take care of each other. Like, we can all have fun and be safe at the same time. And sure, it kind of goes a little bit against the, like, you know, raver culture that is Travis Scott, his music, but it's at the same time, like, you want these people to come back next year and the year after that and the year after that, right? That is more important than the 5% of people that are going to be turned off because, oh, Travis is selling out or whatever. Also, unpopular opinion, I've never been a big Travis Scott fan. He's never done it for me.
One curious comment. What if Larry June was at Essence Fest?
Larry June would be a perfect fit at Essence Fest because again, all everybody's gonna be doing is smoking weed and like just enjoying the shit, nigga. Like,
you would smell, if Essence Fest was in Chicago and it was like what, downtown, you would smell it like off of Garfield Park. Yeah. It'd be so strong.
Yeah. Maybe even down to maybe now Hyde Park. Like,
even Hyde Park, you'd be like, wait a minute.
But yeah, Travis has never done it for me. Sorry.
What a good girl like you. Now I want to see it. One with a P like me. Now I want to see it.
I pay good money for a Larry June concert.
Hey, Larry, if you hear this, man, come to Essence Fest.
Come to Chicago, bro. Yeah. But yeah, so before we get off of here, I know Jesse and I had it was similar in the fact of like we were pushed up on at Lala, and that could have been scary. But Jesse and I went to Lollapalooza, like I said, I think in 2013. Yeah. And this is when Eminem dropped Marshall Mathers LP 2. Mm-hmm. So he was the headliner, and like we didn't even do the Lala thing where you bounce around to a whole bunch of stages. We were like, all right, Emma's going to be at this stage. We're going to be at the front for this period. I don't even remember anybody else we saw, any of the opening acts that we saw. Didn't really matter. And I do remember seeing Joakim Noah there randomly. But yeah, we were at the front and everybody's cool. We were mad dehydrated. I'll let Jesse tell the story about the aftermath of that. But we were mad dehydrated. Thank you. Shout out to that stranger that let us drink his water, because like you are a godsend in that moment, my nigga. Like,
we did a lot of reckless things pre-COVID.
Yeah, looking back on it, it was not the most healthy and safe thing. But when M came out, like I said, we were about like 7-8 rows deep. So like we were pretty close to the front, and everybody from behind us like pushed us even farther front. And it was one of those things that like, okay, like we were cool, but like, I think you said, Jesse, that there was someone that started like having an anxiety attack basically.
Yep. Yeah. She started having an anxiety attack, and she was trying to move through the crowd because she was smaller. And then that's another thing too, to really point about, like, height plays a difference. Like when you're smushed in like these large festival concerts, not before you can see, but because like there's a lot of body heat and body mass around you. So it really cuts off like how the quality and the quality and the flow of your oxidation a lot. So it's just like you can't really breathe in good air. So she was walking through, you know, with her friend, you know, having an anxiety attack, saying like, you know, she couldn't really breathe like that. So she had to exit out, or at least get like further away, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild. But on the flip side to that, you know, with me and you, I was like, you was like, you good? I was like, I'm just thirsty. I'm just really thirsty.
And to go to your point, I remember talking to a friend of the show, Devin Hampton, and he went to Lala one year, and he was like, I think he said he got at the bottom of like people pushed forward, and Dev got knocked over. And Dev is not a small person. Dev is like 6'4". I think now he's like 190, 200, like, you know, big, swole motherfucker. But like, Dev is not like a small person whatsoever. And if he got to the bottom of, like, he was like, yeah, it was me and this shorty and this random like person at the bottom. And at the, like, he's like, I was down there for like 10 or 15 seconds. We'll have to have him on at some point to tell his story. But like, dog, like, that's so wild to me. That's so wild to me.
Like I said, bro, people get too excited at these things sometimes. Like, I understand being like excited to see your favorite artist, but like when you get to the point where you're knocking people over, like that's hella reckless.
And then think about like how I'm glad this ain't gonna happen to Devin. You know, it's not gonna happen to Devin. But like you get knocked down, he said he had 10 to 15 seconds to get up. Some people like, you know, and Devin's big, so Devin can like force himself back up. Some people can't do that, man. It's like, you knock me over, you getting stomped. And it's like, yo, you know, and that can cause like a lot of serious injuries. You know, thank goodness that didn't happen to us. But like I keep saying, we were really thirsty.
We were.
So I'm so glad after the concert.
Oh no, you got to tell the story about what happened now.
Yeah, so I'm so glad after the concert ended, you know, Josh and I decided to go to one of the nearest expensive CVS downtown, you know, waiting for Pops to circle back around so we can have some pizza. You know, like just to go like get something to drink, right? So we go in there. We go into the CVS, you know, Josh can, you know, some bottles of water. I got 2 big old Evian bottles of water.
You got a water and you got a Powerade. I remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got a water. Main thing. When we went up to the cashier, that bottle of water was gone. I slammed it before we got up there.
Hell yeah. I was like, my nigga, we are niggas in the store. Like, what are you doing?
I was like,
bro, I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't. Like,
I was like, I've never been that dehydrated ever in my. It was the top 2 times I've ever been so dehydrated.
Hey, I'm mad he like thought about that before he finished. He was like,
it was top 2. It's definitely top 2. It's definitely so. I mean, one time I got so high, I was like, bro, I am pissing out all my water. I needed water, dog. I needed so much water. She was like, you okay? You want to go to sleep? I was like, I need water. Side note, like real quick, side note. I took a sip of that water. She's like, how does it feel? I was like, I can feel it go through my kidneys right now. Like, that's how high I was, dog. That's how high I was. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus. But before I have Jesse sign off, there is one thing I wanted to bring up. And I've been seeing this going around, and I need to make a stand on this. As a former skinny nigga, I see people posting about how if you dating someone under 200 pounds or whatever, or it's cuffing season and you need to drop that skinny nigga. And I just wanted to say this. Just because that man is big don't mean he's strong. Big boy might not have lifted anything but a fork this whole year. All right. I don't want to hear shit about how niggas that are skinny can't do anything. Shut up. Because I had to deal with that for 22 years of my life. All right. I'm no longer there. I'm no longer in that place, thank God. But shut up. I don't want to hear shit about you believing a good man because he 160. Get out. Girl, that's why you lonely now. Anyways, Jesse, take us home.
I was gonna say, like, this is new territory for me because, you know, only a year ago I was indoctrinated in the skinny nigga club. That which still throws me off to this day. That stuff throws me off to this day. I will say this, Josh. 160 is not a weight to fear unless you're like a 5'6", 160, you know, UFC fighter or professional record of 15-2. Then it gets scary.
I'm just saying, y'all making these under 200. How many people you know are under 200 pounds? There's a plenty of people like that. And just because you 200 plus don't mean you strong. That like off bat, like You could be a sloppy 225. Then what?
You could be a sloppy 225. And side note, I'm tired of hearing these niggas keep going. You gotta be 2 something to do something. You ain't doing nothing because you
ain't doing nothing, homie.
You don't be in the gym, homie.
You don't deadlift. You don't squat. You don't do nothing. Shut up,
squat, nigga. You don't squat. Fuck out of here.
You're not even hitting your macros, big boy. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Lame ass nigga.
Lame ass nigga.
Yeah, be quiet. You don't be in the gym. Yeah. Like I be in there. Like I be in the gym. Yeah, you should go to the gym and lift some weights. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Guys.
I can't even claim skinny nigga no more. I don't know if that's my tribe.
You're far from that. You're. You
know what? It's like if you see me like this with a hoodie on, you're like, okay.
You would think.
If you see me in a t-shirt, you're just like, oh, all right, cool, got it.
I still try to claim big boy, but people keep saying no. I be like, I'm not skinny, but you're not big boy. I'm like, then what am I? I don't know
how I feel. I'm low-key. I'm in the middle. No, because don't do that. Don't do that. I see your face. I am in the middle of like a B.O.N. and a skin.
In the middle of a B.O.N.
I'm in the middle. I'm technically not.
You a skin-O-N.
But I'm not like skinny anymore either. I'm like right.
You in the middle of a B.O.N. a BLT. Stop playing, dog.
Hey, relax. Relax. I was trying to be relatable. Look, I was trying to relate. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, asshole.
Oh man.
I was trying to relate. It's okay.
Oh man. Well,
I said that. Josh was like,
no, dog. Since we talking about, bro, we gotta get you in the gym, bro, because your fight is in July next year.
Hey, it's winter, bro. You gotta put the hoodie on, put the ear, and just go for it. You gotta bulk and then cut. We good.
Just sweat it all out. Sweat it all
out, bro. Sweat it all out. You know what, dog? You know what? I think we covered a lot here. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think I'm a Kyrie Irving our way out of this. For everybody here on the It's Just Jokes podcast, thank you for all tuning in. For myself, the illustrious Joshua Chapman, the forever handsome and B.O.N. Derek Small. It's been your boy, also Jesse Pink. Thank you for tuning in for this show's podcast. Shout out to D Will. Shout out to Payton. shout out to Dre for everything.
Oh, shout out to Jay Alzier and Kingboy for the outro music.
Yeah, shout out to them as well. Thank you all for listening, our loyal fans, our loyal subscribers. We appreciate y'all so much. Please give us 5 stars, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Bye.